So with all this talk about fair use and YouTube's copyright system, I thought I'd throw my hat into the ring. Ever since the Nostalgia Critic made his video on the topic, everyone's been talking about it. I mean, long before this video, YouTube's copyright system was still bad, but even leading up to this video, things seem to be getting even worse than usual. Both with the Nostalgia Critic and I Hate Everything sharing about the copyright nightmares they'd had to go through, and I assume other people had similar problems as well. And not to mention the Fine Bros scandal, which happened not too long beforehand, which, by the way, I don't think I've ever seen so much backlash over a scandal on YouTube. Now, this video isn't going to be about how bad YouTube's copyright system is and how often it's abused, as I feel the Nostalgia Critics collab with Your Movie Sucks and I Hate Everything summed it up way better than I ever could. In fact, if you haven't already, you should probably check it out. It's very informative. Instead, I'm going to be sharing my personal stories of what I've had to go through involving copyright on this channel. And I have to say, when it comes to copyright, I've been relatively lucky on this channel. I wouldn't say that gamers on YouTube are immune to copyright problems. I mean, Angry Joe would probably fight you on the street if you tried to make that claim. But you'll likely have to go through a lot less copyright drama if you do content involving video games as opposed to movies, TV shows, or music. That being said though, I haven't been completely invincible either. I've received a total of 9 copyright claims on my channel. The one that you guys probably already know about was the one on top 10 least favorite bosses. It found a match with a music track, which, yes, I will admit was in the video. It wasn't a YouTube screw up or anything. I had them remove the music so I could make money off the video, but it also removed some of my voice in it as well. Now, as for the other 8, well, let's go over them individually, shall we? First off, the ones when I was giving my thoughts on Nintendo's E3 stuff. Yeah, those you probably already knew about as well. I also got a claim on the video where I was pointing out that one Easter egg in Rick and Morty. Strangely enough, the evil Morty theory was perfectly fine, and thank God too, because as of right now, it's the 3rd most viewed video on my channel. Every single video where I've used footage from James Rolfe has gotten a copyright claim. Yes, even the Mike Matei response. And the last 2 are from Ubisoft and Nintendo, both of which are too old for me to really care about. From what I knew about the claim system, those claims just seemed too risky to fight. I mean, all of those videos are from 2014 or earlier, except for the Rick and Morty one, but that was kinda just a bonus video. Probably wouldn't have monetized it anyway. But believe it or not, that's not the only copyright stuff I've had to deal with on this channel. I've also gotten a strike. And would you believe it, it's the one video I did where the content was owned by Fox. As someone who's a fan of Mr. Enter, I probably should have seen this coming, but at the same time, I thought the frame would protect me, and I guess I thought Futurama was relatively safe territory. Here's something that a lot of people don't tend to tell you. Every time you get a copyright strike, you have to watch the YouTube Copyright School video and do a quiz on it. And this isn't so you can file a counter notification either, it's just so you can get your channel back. I guess people don't tend to mention this because it's probably the least of their problems, but I thought I should just mention, YouTube won't let you do crap involving your videos until you watch this video and answer the quiz. Now, for those of you who've never gotten a strike, never seen Mr. Enter's review where he tears this video a new one, or never watched this video on your own, which to be honest, I doubt most people would do, I'll fill you in on the basics. This video is a bare bones oversimplification of YouTube's copyright system that both figuratively and literally pushes fair use into a corner and takes out all the nasty bits that might make YouTube look bad. In other words, it tells you the way YouTube's copyright system should work, not the way it actually does. And that message at the end about original content being what makes YouTube interesting is one of the biggest insults I've ever seen. Most of the channels on YouTube, particularly the big ones, base their content around video games, and a lot of those that don't base their content around movies. And this makes YouTube look like hypocrites considering the fact that they actively encourage bigger artists to come and overshadow the little guys with Vivo. And if they really believed that 100% original content was what made YouTube interesting, then YouTube gaming would not be a thing. And reaction videos probably wouldn't be allowed either. I'm not saying that channels that don't rely on fair use are bad, or even that they can't get popular. But the fact of the matter is, a good portion of the channels on YouTube, new or old, popular or unpopular, rely on some form of fair use. Now that that little tangent's out of the way, back to my story. Now, considering the fact that my video was taken down, I couldn't upload videos longer than 15 minutes, with most of my videos being longer than 15 minutes, and the fact that the strike wouldn't go away on its own until after 6 months, I figured it was time to start fighting against the strike. They make you fill out all your personal information, which you know makes sense because this is technically a legal battle, but the real bullcrap thing is that they only give you 250 characters to make your case. Now, keep in mind, back when YouTube comments had character limits, you know, before the days of Google+, the limit was 500 characters. In other words, twice that amount. Are they really saying that a full-blown legal argument deserves less space than a freaking YouTube comment? Eventually, after a couple weeks, I got my video back. I was happy because that meant they hadn't lost my counterclaim. I'm not going to say that the system's good, I'm just going to say I had a less terrible experience with it than some other people have had. But would you believe me if I told you that this wasn't the end of my YouTube copyright experiences? Because it wasn't. A certain person who will remain nameless because they apologized uploaded my top 8 least favorite games I've played on their channel without my permission. Unlike the stuff that I've gotten hit for, this was blatantly stealing. So I took the most logical course of action. I filed a strike against them. This may seem harsh, but keep in mind, they blatantly stole my video. Besides, this system is supposed to protect content creators, so might as well use the system for what it was meant for. But thanks to a private conversation, they willingly took their video down before the strike even hit. So that's my story. I hope you guys found it interesting. I just thought that because of the fact that this topic's being talked about a lot more lately, and the fact that I got a strike recently, I figured it would be good to share my story with you guys. For those of you worried, don't be. I'm not going to pull an I hate everything and make every other video about a copyright scandal. But before I go, I bet you're all asking, what about the Dan Versus video? Oh, that's still getting made. I've come too far to give up on it now. But depending on what company currently owns the rights to the show, and depending on how lenient they are towards copyright on YouTube, I might upload the video to YouTube, or I might just upload it to Dailymotion and Zipcast and provide links to it on YouTube, depending on whether or not the video poses a threat to my channel. With all that said, guys, I'm Defoffilizer, and thanks for watching.